For the next topic, we are going to discuss about chemistry of life. This is actually a very big topic since it is actually applicable for both SL and HL students. Chemistry of life is actually discussing about basic chemical reactions and basic chemical structures that is going to be further elaborated in the succeeding topics. Okay, so the first area wherein the chemistry of life is dealing with is the chemical elements and water. So this is very basic. So here, so in the case of chemistry of life, there should be a basic chemistry background for a student for them to understand. If not, then therefore there should be the teacher should be walking through with the student on these topics. Okay, so first, okay, in the chemical elements in water, the things that is supposed to be discussed are the significance of chemical elements. So what are the most commonly occurring elements that are present in living organisms? This includes carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and sulfur, because this comprises organic substances that comprise living matter or living organisms. So, so this should include the elements that is commonly occurring, common in living things. Okay, next one. Okay. If there are other elements that are needed to be elaborated, such as, let's just say, calcium and sodium, okay, these other elements are actually needed in small amounts. So you just need to explain to the student that these elements are just needed for a specific purpose or a specific function. Another thing, okay, of course, in the area of water, okay, the structure is supposed to be learned by the student. Structure of water. So in the case of structure of water, you have to include what are the elements that are involved in or that are included in water. What are the chemical bonds that is being shared within the structure of water. So if a water molecule is supposed to interact with other water molecules, what is the chemical bond that is going to be involved or that is going to be used by water molecules themselves? So it has to show, the structure has to show the polarity. Okay. And so when you say polarity, if a student does not have any background in chemistry, then you have to explain in layman's term that a polar structure has this type of structure while a non-polar structure has this type. Okay? So it should also include the bond formation. So in the case of the structure in one water molecule, it includes the covalent bond that holds the oxygen and the hydrogen elements together. So it also includes the hydrogen bond that holds water molecules together. Okay, so by elaborating on the bond formation, this gives different properties in water. So we can also include, we should include the properties being shown by water. So this includes the thermal properties, cohesive properties, and solvent properties. So under the properties of water, by explaining the structure of the water molecule and the interaction of a water molecule with other water molecules, you can show the consequences that is being given in the structure. Okay, so for example, let's just say if we have a water molecule here interacting with another water molecule. Okay, so the bonds that is actually holding water molecule together is actually the hydrogen bonds. Okay, so by having this hydrogen bonds, this gives the property of water in giving it a high latent heat of fusion and high specific heat. Okay, so you have to elaborate on those areas as well. Okay, so under the properties as well, okay, apart from explaining the theory part or the chemical structure and the consequences of the structure of water, then we have to include the application of this. Okay. So in the case of application, since water molecules are held together by hydrogen bonds, then we have to include that this hydrogen bond is very difficult to break. Hence, it is living organisms cannot change temperature abruptly. Okay, so that is one of the applications that should be included as well. Application of the to living organisms. So these are the only things that are important in this subtopic, which is needed to be remembered by students, by IB students.